Yeah, live on the Institutionalized Network. No king. Say hello to Dr. Strange. No king. Just cheese, okay? On a serious note, we probably need to go on just on arrest the president or something. I don't know. Ain't that possible? He ain't. The only version of money he ain't messed with yet is the churches. That's the only bit of money he ain't messed with is the churches. Where am I going insane? I'm already insane. Am I delusional? You tell me. It's Institutionalized Network. Get up and get down. Holla at me. And now the news. Yeah. It was No King's Day. You know, that's a controversial statement, though. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to be seen as the king of your kingdom with a queen. You know, some princes and some princesses and pass on the legacies and all those things. But unfortunately, in America, life is a seesaw and it's trife, y'all. Because I'm a king without a queen, but I love the queens and you know what I'm saying, I do my thing. Maybe I'll do the ring thing, jump over a boom before I'm through. But right now, I'm a doctor that's strange giving news to you. So, the immigrants were invited here. Oh, this is a sanctuary city. This is a sanctuary city that's full of fucked up, gritty. We follow YouTube guidelines. We don't want to describe or hurt anyone in any kind of way. Do not take what I say and go out and destroy yourself or others. This is for entertainment purposes. Learn something. Now, the immigrants got invited to a city that was already gritty and grimy. They end up sleeping in a police station where people who stayed in America couldn't go sleep. If they ain't had nowhere to go, they had to sleep out in the cold. You guys were set up. I'm sorry to have to be the one to tell you blatant and blade out, you know, that American dream, we already knew that it was a nightmare. And they brought it across to y'all as a true dream. They gave you everything. That's the same thing they probably did to the people that they shipped in the slave trade. You know, at first, here you go, we got this. You need that? We got that. The taxes wasn't even enough that they was taking on you for them people to leave you alone. And this is a nation built on taxation without representation. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. They say they got something to say about it. Hold on.
Well, much of downtown Chicago was gridlocked for most of today as these protests marched through these streets, as well as a rally in Grant Park. Thousands of others gathering in several different suburbs across the area as protesters tell us now is the time to stand up for democracy. Donald Trump, hands off. From the city to the suburbs,
Okay.
massive crowds gathered in hopes of sending a message to the Trump administration. Grant Park was packed early this afternoon as thousands gathered there for a hands-off rally before protesters marched through the city streets.
I'm a lifelong registered Republican, but enough is enough.
Mayor Brandon Johnson was also there today, addressing the crowd in Grant Park.
Are you all ready to defend this democracy? Are you ready to fight fascism? Are you prepared to destroy authoritarianism once and for all? Well, let the world hear you. No peace.
The rally remained peaceful in downtown throughout the day with the presence of Chicago police.
So there you have it. You know what I'm saying? That native, the mayor looking like that native that be cooling out with 607 on. No, he got a gumby cut. That was the kind of haircut. That's the one he rocking now though, but you know, that's how it be. He ain't hoovering up. I hope y'all get y'all business together though, brother. You know what I'm saying? And transition your lifestyle and way of life into a corporation. That's the proper etiquette for that. Because I like to do that with my 13. You know? Get collective and collaborate and elevate. That's how institutionalized network deals. The hell raising the block, you know what I'm saying? Having elevated life raises on in that regardless. Now back to the news. I ain't mean to dip off on you. It's just another serious joint, you know what I'm saying? This it's the late night session, y'all. Don't get me wrong. I want the Aztecs to float and get their paper and build. I remember I got this painting from these Aztecs a long time ago. It was the cow. It burnt up in my fire. I drew it over again. It's on my wall now. You know what I'm saying? So even if they was, you know, it's a legend that they was cutting people's heads off and didn't listen, you know, or who had messed up that week or something. But like you know, these eastside chronicles. I stay on South Shore. Right down the street from where they did the raid, and next door from where they did the raid. And down the street around the corner where they did the other raids. See, they had did a raid on 74th and 73rd and Phillips about a half a year ago already. Now it just wasn't on, it was on the news a little bit, but you know what I'm saying, it wasn't, goddamn it, excuse my French. Smoking is hazardous to your health. The THC make you feel good. So I got some serious joints for you, baby boy and baby girl. Before we get this off, I want to let you know these are for entertainment purposes only. Things I say and I speak on are to educate and elevate you, not to aggravate you and to get you incarcerated, just so that it's knowledge known and knowledge stated. Now, y'all know how we do. We got a serious joint. There's been a recent immigration fiasco going around in my town, and it hit close to home. About a week and a half ago, I'm in the crib, all I hear is boom, 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 bam. They was next door raiding. I stay on 74th in South Shore. I didn't hear the 75th in South Shore raid, but they raided on 74th and South Shore as well. Now, to my understanding, they went in like they was off in Somalia, Gaza, or somewhere in the third world country. They came down with helicopters on the roof, cutting up fences and all of these things all around the building, searching for alleged cartel members. Now, they only arrested 37 people, but this was a whole building complex that they went in. If they knew the individuals they was looking for, I don't see the need to arrest American citizens if you're looking for immigrants. My understanding, which I seen with my own two eyes on the video from the news report, they got the babies handcuffed out there, man. What threat to national security do babies have? That's first and foremost. It's heartbroken as a resident of South Shore area. But if you've lived in my area over the eras from the 80s when my grandmama first came over here to the 90s when I was out there, what they call it now, when I jumped off the porch. Shit, I actually fell off my grandmama's porch a couple times out there trying to barbecue and do calisthenics and shit. But to the 90s to the 2000s, I've been in the South Shore area. A proud tar. You know what I'm saying? That's the South Shore High School, if you don't know, from the drum team and all those things we call tars. I elevated to truth, Allah rules itself. What is you, Paul? But I'm still a pirate. So, moving on, hold on. I ain't trying to stop the ganja. Because this is a serious joint. The raid on the South Shore apartment building involved tactics that reportedly terrorized residents, including the use of flashbang, breaking down doors, and zip-tying children. The operation resulted in 37 arrests, though it's unclear how many were related to immigrations versus other warrants. And they sparked an investigation into their heavy-handed tactics. This happened on September 30th. It was custom informants, immigration and custom informants, which is ICE, the FBI, and U.S. Border Patrol agents. See, the troops hadn't came in yet, but they was acting like they was in a war zone with terrorists. The neighborhood described the agents using military-style tactics. They cutting fences, and the residents were detained. Now, they act like it was Nino and the Carter, and I stay right down the street. It was nothing like that. The people that were in there using drugs or that used drugs had been there for years. Fortunately for me, I wasn't one of the residents because that was in the particulars of the buildings when I was picking buildings around here in South Shore Drive to reside in. They would have destroyed the Astoria looking for the immigrants without asking. But y'all remember all y'all old heads. Who's that looking through the window? Trained assassins. No teacher, they just searching and grabbing. Look, these people are not trained in public relations. The police force are not trained in public relations. The ICE agents are not trained in public relations. The only one that's probably trained in public relations is the FBI. But do you get where I'm coming from? They don't even have the knowledge to deal with people outside of their so-called law book, rule book, orders they were given. All they hear is orders. They don't hear people. These are the people that you are sworn to serve and protect in any situation. That's what you call yourself doing. Now, to speak out as a resident of South Shore, Yeah, the immigrants that got out of hand. They had a goddamn it. Excuse my friend. They had a roadblock down here on 87 in South Shore Drive during the beginning of the year where they was just taking people cars and everything. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not that they were unruly, but the politicians and everybody opened up the doors for them. Do you see what I'm saying? They came over here. From what my understanding, they all got $10,000. You know how many American citizens been working since they were youth? They can't get a $10,000 loan with no payback. They made it extra hard for communications. Most of these people could only talk to you through a phone. So, you know what I'm saying? You have paranoia and all kind of other things going on. From my understanding, this is not the first building that they done went in and extracted people from. It was just the one that made the news because they did it in such a raw way. It was another building on 73rd and Phillips where they went in and just took all the immigrants out, ramshacked the spot, and dipped out. So basically, the areas in which you force people in, now you drugging everybody out. I seen the interview with a man downtown, and he said, I got all my information in my backpack. I'm going to this thing. Y'all can check it. They didn't want that. If you fit the description. Because they looking for Haitians too. They looking for everybody. They looking for any illegal immigrants right now. But have they been to any Anglo-Saxon, Caucasian neighborhoods looking for illegal immigrants and these kind of tactics? I mean, unfortunately, yes. They shot a pastor in the head outside. He was just standing outside. They pop him down off the roof. What has we come to as far as these tactics of regeneration, so they would say, or making America great again? It seemed like they making America the slave capital again. Although I got some knowledge of brothers say the slave trade did happen and all these old good things, but whatever did or didn't happen, I want you to know this. Our right to vote and participate in this legal system is up for question. The Lyndon Johnson bill was signed, but it had a loophole. I remember talking to my pastor about this back in the 80s. Oh, no, it'll never happen. It'll never. All they have to do is keep defining us as unruly and incapable of logical thinking in the eyes of the rest of the American citizens, and we don't get to vote anymore, y'all. We're going to go and dip over the other news in the same essence, though, as far as dictatorships. I just was studying it in the UK has already started to mandate that if you don't get this chip in your head, you can't work and you can't shop. So to all my peoples in my generations who thought it might not make it to us, it's here. Pardon the body. It's here now. They took over 39 million bank accounts over in China for refusing the chip. So start studying farming. Start learning how to live off the land, because it may not be something that you want to do, but it may be something that you may have to do to live. You understand? Also, in other news, SNAP benefits may not come in November due to the government shutdown. Mm, mm, mm. like I said, it's time for survival tactics. See, us 80 babies and early 90 teens, we know survival tactics. We know serve sandwiches. We know shit. Eating once a day. Yeah, we know to do our own hair. Because all that money you were spending on that, you're going to have to spend on food, clothing, and shelter. And they know that. And they know those are things that you need essentially, that you'll be willing to sacrifice and do the same kind of, see, they're going to make you appear to be unruly by the tactics that they introduce or the opportunities that are left for you. And then they're going to declare all kind of things. Now, I do hear all across the world today, they had a No King Day. I see the thousands downtown Chicago. I see the thousands in Japan. I see the thousands in New York. I see the thousands in San Francisco. I see the thousands in DC. So, to me, because I studied the Constitution, got a plaque over there on the wall for it. The system of checks and balances is time to be put in play. And I just seen the sister say that it's an amendment that you could erase the whole cabinet and start fresh if the president gets to this point to whereas he believes his feelings and actions dictate what goes on, not Congress, not the Senate, not any of those things. Seems whereas he's in majority and he's appointed all these judges and all these old, yeah, the judge, one of the judges he appointed that didn't agree with him, house got burned down, you know, these are real mob tactics. My man's in them from New York. So I would say get into knowing things from all diverses, from all different ways of life, so you will be adaptable to if your situation changes. Because what you know, it won't be like that no more. Ain't that what all the young G's tell us? Tell us, hey, it ain't like that no more, G. It ain't like that no more, Grandpa. Come on, Unc, we ain't doing it like that no more. Never thought you wouldn't be living like that no more, neither. Me, myself, personally, when the pandemic hit, I thought that we would realize that all of these things are just fringe benefits. We are beings of light from the universe, and we here to shine. But fuck that. Well, excuse my French, but most people went right back to the same old maze and the same old rat race and the grind line. The other half started businesses and things of that nature, and I would like to say, you see, I ain't got no hat on, so I ain't got to say hats off, salute. But in the same essence, when you run out of consumers, now what we gonna do? What good is a tax write-off and you ain't got no revenue? Because if everybody doing it, who gonna come? Me myself, I would say that we need warehouses much more than individual.